Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to our first hashtag, the Wakanna difference. I'm Dr. Roz. I'll be your host. We are excited and we've got some really powerful information to share with you. But just know that this is going to be awesome. This is not going to be anything that you have already seen before. You're going to get information that you've never heard before. So I just want you to get pen and get paper and buckle your seatbelts and get ready to be informed and inspired and instructed. So our first speaker for our first hashtag the Wakanna difference is Dr. Joy Smith. Dr. Joy W. Smith is a registered pharmacist in the state of Illinois with 8 years experience in retail, hospital, and ambulatory settings. She obtained her doctorate of pharmacy from Florida A&M University in 2012. Her experience in pharmacy has always been guided by continued compliance with local, state, and federal laws as regulated by the Illinois Board of Pharmacy and various drug monitoring agencies. We are excited that Dr. Joy is a certified dispensary owner here at Wakanna. Woo! But more importantly, her experience makes her so qualified to be a member of the medical advisory board as she is able to exercise some of those same compliance practices in the cannabis space. Please welcome everybody, Dr. Joy. Dr. Joy, are you there?
I am there, Dr. Ross. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. As Dr. Ross stated, I am Dr. Joy Smith, and happy Friday and good evening to all the distributors, our customers on the line, and people who just want to learn about the Wakanna difference. So welcome. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm just so glad to be a part of this phenomenal company because we truly have the right products. So let's get into our presentation. All of these terms you may have heard before, you may have seen before, especially when talking about our products. We talk about how the rigorous testing that our products go through, we talk about all those things. But after that rigorous testing happens, all of these terms are given to our products. Now, I'm sure you've seen or heard these terms, and some of you may know what they mean. But some of you, when you see these terms, might look like this baby. And his sentiment is the more that I think, the more confused that I get. So we don't want you to be like this baby. We want you to be well-informed and be able to confidently talk about the Wakanna difference. So you're here because you value your business, you value the taking, you want to tell the world about Wakanna in a compliant way, of course. So when people see our logo, we want them to know that they're getting nothing but quality and nothing but excellence. So let's get started here, okay? So what does it mean to have your hands on some quality organic CBD? It means that the hemp that it was derived from was grown with no pesticides, no artificial chemicals, no toxins, no added ingredients. Now, these artificial chemicals and pesticides aren't only harmful, but they may cause allergies in certain consumers. And if somebody's allergic to a product that has artificial ingredients, it may not mean that they're allergic to that actual product, but they're just allergic to the added chemicals in it. Now, that are added to plants can harm the animals that eat them, strip the nutrients from the soils where they're planted, and ruin the quality of the water that surrounds it. So would you say that a slightly lower price tag is worth having all of this junk and toxins added into your body? I personally don't think so. So by buying organic, you guarantee that you're receiving a product that's free of toxins and that was grown in healthy conditions. And Wakanna certainly has those types of products. Now we talk about non-GMO. Now, typically you'll see non-GMO as it relates to food, but our products are non-GMO as well. But in order to know what non-GMO means, you have to know what genetically modified or GMO, genetically modified organisms or GMO is. So this graphic speaks about genetically modified food, but the definition applies to any genetically modified product that you're talking about. So simply put, when a plant or food is genetically modified, its DNA or the genes that make it unique are changed in a way that only can happen in a lab. These changes would not happen on their own. So for example, that's why you see some plants that don't need to have pesticides sprayed on them to fight off the insects that may come onto them. And that's because their, excuse me, their DNA has been modified or changed in the lab, and that change allows the plant to produce its own equally harmful pesticide. So the bottom line is genetic modification is not for health, it's for convenience. So you can see here that GMOs make it easier to produce products for a lower price. But again, is that lower price tag worth the long-term problems that can happen within our bodies when we're taking genetically modified foods or products into our bodies? Again, I know. So now here's a quick comparison of organic versus non-GMO and some of the characteristics of each. And you can see that the product that's non-GMO is only responsible for not using genetically modified ingredients. It doesn't have to be free of all this other junk, artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, synthetic fertilizers, all of these other things. It doesn't have to be void of that. And that is why Wakanna is set apart. Not only because it's organic, not only because it's non-GMO, but there's more. There's more about why Wakanna is so different. So another set of terms that we may hear is all natural. And what we need to know here is all natural is simply just a literal term. All natural means that there are no synthetic ingredients included. But what we don't know is in order for something to be labeled all natural, it just has to have a natural product in it, and it can also have synthetic products in it. So we hear Phyllis Nash saying all the time, we hear Phyllis Nash saying all the time that our products are natural, our products are affordable. But when we have natural products, we know that they're organic, they're non-GMO, and they're natural. So we're backed on all fronts. So another set of terms that we hear in our Wakanna lingo is industrial hemp or farm bill compliant. And this excerpt comes from the Federal Register, which is a journal that's published by the US government. All this particular excerpt says is that the requirement is that hemp comes from the cannabis sativa plant and that there's no more than 0.3% THC. That sums it up in one sentence. There's no more than 0.3% THC inside of the plant. So the full document gives guidelines for the land where the hemp is produced, how much THC can be in industrial hemp, how to get rid of hemp plants that don't meet the requirements, and how to remain compliant within the regulations that are set forth by the 2018 Farm Bill. So here, if you want to do a screenshot, you can get the full PDF of this document where it lays out all those guidelines. You can go straight to there and it'll allow you to download the PDF file. So I'll leave it here for a second in case anybody wants to do a screenshot. Okay, and if this went too quickly for you in terms of the screenshot, you can always get my information and I can shoot that link over to you or put it in the chat box afterwards. So now we want to talk about our products specifically. As you can see, our products have black labeling and white labeling. The black labels are called the full spectrum products, while the white labels are called the broad spectrum products. Now, both of them contain the phytochemicals that are naturally found in the cannabis plant, like the cannabinoids, CBD, CBG, CBN, CBC. You may hear Dr. Rita talking about those sometimes. And the terpenes that give the plant its aroma. Now, the difference is that amount of THC that's outlined in the Farm Bill, that 0.3% THC. The black products, the black label products have that 0.3% or less of THC, and the white products, that THC has been removed. So whether broad spectrum or full spectrum, all of our products have the benefit of providing the entourage effect. And no, we're not talking about Entourage the show, but we're speaking of the fact that all of the phytochemicals in the plant work together to provide more benefit than any one of those would alone. So you want to think about it like your Wakanna business. You work hard in your business and you can work hard on yourself and make it successful. But when you have a team of people or phytochemicals working with you, it makes it that much easier for your business to be successful. So now let's talk specifically about the full spectrum products. Our full spectrum products, as I said, contain 0.3% or less of THC as outlined by the 2018 Farm Bill. That goes for the gummies, the tinctures, the pre-rolls, anything with a black is considered full spectrum. So those who have random drug screens on their job, they may want to opt for the pure or broad spectrum products that we have to avoid having a positive drug screen. Now, these are the pure or broad spectrum products. They have the THC removed and have a white label. So if you do have random drug screens as a part of your job, this product is for you. Now, from millennials to baby boomers, we have the right product for anybody seeking to get the wellness benefits of CBD. So what are our takeaways here? We take away that our products are organic. They're non-GMO. They're all natural, industrial hemp regulated, Farm Bill compliant, and they have broad spectrum and spectrum options. But what I want you all to really know is Wakanna has the best quality out here. We're truly the best. So when you lock arms with Wakanna, you know that you're aligning yourself with excellence. And if I had to come up with a quote about what Wakanna means to me or how I feel about the quality or the integrity of the company, it would be our standards, our attitude, and our drive make it possible to achieve health and wealth. Wakanna is wellness at its finest. Wakanna is life. So if you're choosing to lock arms with Wakanna, if you are a customer and you want to know how to tell everybody you know about this product, if you're a business partner and you're just looking to enhance your business and be able to speak in a compliant way about these amazing products, this is the place that you need to be. So Dr. Roz, I'm going to give it back to you so we can hear some of these other amazing speakers.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Joy. Listen, you killed it, because I can see that everybody here, I see people snapping, like, okay, I got to get this. Excellent. The information. Now already, guys, you already know what hashtag the Wakanna difference is going to be all about. And see, this is just our first one. So the information that you're about to get is going to set you in a place far above anybody else. And who besides me doesn't want to look like that baby? I'm sorry, I don't want to look like that. So we got it all together. Wakanna is the bomb because we're organic, non-GMO, and natural. Everybody, let me see your mouth move and you say, backed on all fronts. That's what she said, backed on all fronts. I don't mute or don't unmute, just mouth your words and say, backed on all fronts. All right, let's move along. Our second speaker for hashtag the Wakanna difference. Can I go on record first and foremost saying, I love this lady. Okay, I just got to get that out there. Thank you very much. I'm getting emotional. Dr. Rita McGuire. She's affectionately known to all of us as Dr. Rita. She's an OBGYN over a 30-year career serving as medical director and attending physician for prominent academic and community safety net hospitals. She was the first physician in Illinois to certify patients in the opioid alternative pilot program. She is a strong and dedicated advocate for the education and the legalization of medical cannabis, and one of the 4 co-founders and chief medical officer and the pillar of health of Wakanna. She was asked by the governor of Illinois to testify on the Senate floor as they were making a decision to make cannabis legal in the state of Illinois. And as some of you may know, that did happen, and she had a big part in that. So she's an educator as it relates to everything about compliance here at Wakanna. Welcome, everybody, to Dr. Rita. Dr. Rita, are you there?
I am here. Wow, thank you for that warm introduction, and I love you too, Dr. Shawbell. Can you see my slides? And can you hear me?
Can hear you great.
Wonderful. Welcome, business partners. Welcome, guests, to the second part of the agenda tonight, the hashtag the Wakanna difference. I'm going to be going over the legality of our product as it relates to the 2018 Farm Bill. What's the FDA saying? Third-party validation ISO labs. Where do I find the certificates of analysis on my website? What is a certificate of analysis, or COA? Some of the protocols that we have in place during this pandemic with the COVID-19 virus for package, delivery, and pickups. And then we'll be ending with my quote as well. So when we talk about the 2018 Farm Bill, it's important to know that it was signed in December 20th of 2018 by President Trump. This bill was signed into law, and it's an Agricultural Improvement Act. This act regulates agricultural programs from income support to rural development. But what was monumental about this farm bill was that it removed hemp from the Controlled Substance Act as a Scheduled I substance. And it's important to know that a Scheduled I substance is a substance that has a high abuse potential, has no medical use, and has a lot of safety concerns. So hemp was removed from being a Scheduled I drug. It was removed from being classified with LSD and heroin and cocaine and even marijuana. So this what makes our product legal to cultivate, to possess, and to sell and distribute in all 50 states. So when we look at that, we are like so happy. We're like, yes, 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 finally, after 80 years, hemp is no longer illegal. But what you should also know is that when that happened, the FDA didn't have any standards in place for CBD. And that's why we caution people when they buy CBD at gas stations, at smoke shops, in people's garages, because we really don't know what's in that CBD. So right now, the CBD doesn't have standards set. They don't have protocol sets for testing. They don't have protocols for what should be on your labeling. But what they do mandate is that we don't make claims. We don't make claims about treatment or diagnosing or even cures. So when we talk about testing, see, Wakanna has been proactive. We understand that the FDA doesn't mandate anything around testing, but we have been proactive to do third-party validation testing. Why? To show the potency of active CBD in the products, to detect any harmful chemicals, and to prove that it is a full spectrum CBD product. So third-party validation means that it provides an unbiased analysis of our products. It indicates the purity, the quality, and potency. And it's critical in today's market. So what is a CBD COA and why should I care? Many of you on this webinar is probably looking like this guy, scratching the head like, I've never even heard of this, Dr. Rita. Well, a COA is an abbreviation for a certificate of analysis. And guess what, folks? Not all companies provide them. You know why? Because they're costly. But it shows the commitment and integrity of Wakanna. See, we are proactive. We are way ahead of the game as it relates to testing our products. I bet you're asking the next question, well, Dr. Rita, where in the heck do you find the certificates of analysis? Very easy. Your customers can easily find their certificates of analysis under each product. So under each product, you'll see the word download. As a distributor, when you sign into your back office, the same thing happens. You look for a desired product that you want to purchase or look at a COA and you hit the word download beneath the product and voila, you will find your certificate of analysis. A little bit about the lab that we use, the ISO lab. It is currently a lab that practices good manufacturing practices. It's a lab that also is currently undergoing ISO, or it is an ISO accredited lab, which means it is part of the American Association of Lab Accreditation. It has good lab practices, that's GLP. It has very fast turnaround times. It's located in Denver, Colorado. It's the only hemp testing laboratory in the country that's built to stand up to FDA inspections and audits. So the next question, I bet you're wondering, well, how do I interpret these Wakanna COAs? Well, thank God it's not like that physics equations that you had to figure out how to interpret in high school and college. It really is not that difficult. The first part of the certificate of analysis, the top, is going to give you sample information. So at the top, you'll see the product of interest is Power Hemp MD. The next you'll find is a batch ID number, and that's a number that we give the lab to identify which product sample we sent. You'll see the reported date. That's the date that the certificate of analysis was reported and finalized. You'll next find the type of product that we sent. Was it a plant? Was it a liquid? Was it units? We send units. The next you'll find is the test, what type of tests we're asking to be done. We're testing potency at this time. The next on the right is a test ID that is mandated by ISO labs. In the event there's a recall on a product, we can easily figure out from this number which product that is. And then the method. Now the method is the test number that's given for every test that an ISO lab does. TM14 is the test number for potency. The next part of the certificate of analysis is called a donut chart. Now the donut chart is going to give you the milligrams of CBD found in that product. Now remember, if you go to our website and you look up hemp MD, the original formulation was 750 milligrams, but you'll read in the description that the current COAs are showing CBD milligrams above 825 or 850. And that points out the fact that when you're dealing with an herb, when you're dealing with a plant like hemp, it's unlike dealing with a synthetically made product like Tylenol or ibuprofen that's made in a lab and is made the same way with synthetic products that give it a 200 milligram dosing each and every time that it's made. So there is some variance, and that donut chart will give you exactly how many milligrams is in that particular product. The next part of the COA is the test information. This will give you what test is being performed. And this test information shows that a cannabinoid profile is being performed. Next, you'll find the sample size. That sample size is typically found in the bottom of the chart, and it will give the weight of the sample that was sent. Now the samples that we typically send, the weight, if it's a 15 ml bottle or sample, it comes out to be 13.987125 grams. That is the sample size. Next, you'll find a bar chart. Now the bar chart is for compliance purposes, right? We talk about how our full spectrum product should be 0.3% or less. Well, the bar chart will give you the percentage of CBD, the percentage of CBDA, the percentage of Delta-9 THC, and the percentage of THCA. So we see in our Hempranium MD that compliance is there, less than 0.3% or less of THC, it's 0.13 in this bar chart. Next, you'll find the limit of quantitation. Now, the limit of quantitation is a list of all the cannabinoids that you hear me speak about each and every week. The main cannabinoids like CBD and CBN and CBG and Delta-9 THC and Delta-8 THC and THCA. This will give us the lowest amount that is detected in the sample that was sent. It is an LOQ, the lowest amount of each cannabinoid that is detected in that sample. The next column will give you the milligrams that are detected in the sample. And the third column will tell you the milligrams per gram or the milligrams per milliliter. At the bottom, you'll find something called total cannabinoids. Total cannabinoids will give you two factors, one being the total potential THC and the other the total potential CBD. It's just a combination of THC plus THCA, and they multiply it by a factor that they come up with, as well as the total potential CBD is a combination of CBDA plus CBD and another factor that they use to come up with that number. At the end is the final approval. The final approval is the date that the sample was approved, the preparers that approved the sample, and all of the important accreditations and certificates that our lab that we use, Botanicor, has. So hopefully you're going to be like this little guy. I got it. Now I understand where to find the certificate of analysis, what a certificate of analysis is, why it's important for my customers and distributors to have a certificate of analysis on every product, how to interpret their certificate of analysis. A light bulb should be going out in your mind. Another thing that we talk about that is a very, very important during this pandemic is the proper handling of our products. Here at Wakanna, that's another Wakanna difference. That in our fulfillment department, in our shipping department, all staff wear head covers, masks, and gloves as they're packaging our products. We have our customers call 312-265-0036. This is a number that you call so that your packages are waiting for you once you are buzzed into our corporate office, so that we maintain the CDC guidelines of social distancing and really limited interactions. We also know that cardboard, the virus can live on cardboard for 24 hours. So we remind our customers, our distributors, as they're receiving their packages at their doorstep, to take those precautions in wiping down surfaces that those packages have touched and wiping down the package and the products as well. So we truly take this time and make sure that our customers and distributors are safe. So how do I put all this information together, Dr. Rita? Well, you can start by now understanding that the 2018 Farm Bill makes your Wakanna products legal, right? Many of us on the webinar get questions. Are your products legal? The second thing, the commitment, knowing that Wakanna is proactive, that we have taken steps to have certificates of analysis on all of our products. We're transparent. Every batch is independently lab tested. And we've also set up precautions during this pandemic to ensure that our products are handled in a COVID-19 safe manner. So now I hope that you can answer some of these frequently asked questions. Is your product legal? Yes. Are your products tested? Yes. Does your company provide certificates of analysis? Yes. Is your company taking precautions during this pandemic to ensure that the customers and distributors and all those involved are safe when they are receiving packages, when they're picking up their packages, and when they are having those packages? So the Wakanna difference for me, Dr. Rita's quote, this is my quote, guys. When you truly care about bringing forth the highest quality CBD products to the marketplace, then you're in essence showing your customers that you truly care about them. That's the Wakanna brand. That's the Wakanna difference. Back to you, Dr. Charbel.
Is Wakanna the bomb? Yes. Fantastic, Dr. Rita. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are excited. I mean, every question, every answer is yes, yes, yes. And listen, people ask us all the time, are we legal? So come on, we got an answer for them now, and you've got something to back it up with. Not just saying yes, but now you can back it up with some facts. And in the first place, it was never supposed to be listed on the same category as heroin. LSD? Are you for real? So isn't it wonderful, guys, to know that we've got quality and purity and potency? And Dr. Rita, thank you so much that I don't have to be a mathematician like the lady on Hidden Figures. I'm so glad about that. So now, let's move on and let's get ready for our third presenter of our first hashtag, the Wakanna difference. This gentleman, I'm telling you, Mr. Thomas L. Sewell V. He is the Senior Director of Quality Assurance at Wakanna. He has a background that spans various disciplines. He began his career in the health and vision care industry, moving through the ranks at organizations such as iMed Vision Care, Zealous Healthcare, just to name a few. His extensive knowledge of those spaces made him such a natural fit for the position and subject matter regarding compliance. For example, during his time at Zealous Healthcare, check this out, he was responsible for the retention of over $26 million in revenue within just a 2-year time frame. And then as a compliance auditor at Zealous Healthcare, he withheld over $2.3 million in fraudulent claims. My goodness, I'm so glad he's on our side. Because when it comes to compliance and when it comes to quality assurance, he's a man of genuine passion and enthusiasm, and we call him TJ. Thomas L. Sewell V, are you there?
I am here, I am here, I am here. Can you hear me okay, Dr. Ross?
Hear you, fan. Great.
Excellent, I'm so happy to hear that. Well, first off, I want to just really thank you, Dr. Ross. I will say that you came highly recommended when myself, and Dr. Rita decided that we were going to do a compliance Zoom on educating all of our distributors and customers. She says only one person can fill that spot, and that was you. And in the short time that I've gotten to know you in preparation of this call, I see that you are a woman of substance, grace, and professionalism. So I just want to sincerely thank you for your very, very warm welcome.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So again, today I'm going to be speaking on non-compliant versus compliant product testimonials. So as Dr. McGuire and Dr. Smith shared their quote in regards to what the Wakanna difference means to them. So for me, I just wanted to give you a snippet of what the Wakanna difference means to me. And for me, it means ensuring our distributors, our customers are up to date with regulatory compliance regarding CBD. And I know many of you may say, well, hey, what is regulatory compliance? So I'm hopeful that by the end of this presentation, that you'll have a better understanding when I reference regulatory compliance in regards to CBD. So I believe the best place to start when you're having the conversation on giving a compliant product testimonial is to say, well, who determines what's compliant and what is not compliant? Well, the organization rather that determines that is the FDA. So I wanted to provide you with some insight in regards to what is the FDA saying in regards to CBD. So it says the FDA is working quickly to further clarify our regulatory approach for products containing cannabis and cannabis-derived compounds like CBD, while using all available resources to monitor the marketplace and protect public health by taking action as needed against those companies. And the person that is quoted on the record for providing that information is the principal deputy commissioner at the FDA. That means that she is the second most important person in regards to the FDA. And so this is where she is stating in regards to where we are in the cannabis industry. And so what she is saying is that those of us who are currently in the CBD industry, this is an indication that we are on that pioneering curve. And so much so that the government itself is still actually putting its resources together to determine how they can adequately and fairly monitor CBD here in our country. So I think that the best place to start in regards to, well, what is Wakanna doing in regards to ensure that we are compliant? So one of the things that we have on each and every single one of our products is we have a product disclaimer. And that product disclaimer indicates that it gives a specific breakdown in regards to the usage of Wakanna products to ensure that we are compliant in regards to the letters and in regards to the actions that the FDA has taken by people misappropriating CBD in the marketplace. But the thing that I wanted to focus on this specific call was in regards to our product disclaimer. On every single product that Wakanna provides, it indicates these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, to treat, to cure, or prevent any disease. So I really wanted to emphasize that specific piece of the product disclaimer, because it's very important for us to take that same approach when we're educating others on CBD. So you say to yourself, well, Thomas, why is this important to my business to make sure that I'm giving a compliant testimonial? Well, I'm just going to give you a little insight in regards to why this is applicable to your business today. So the first point I would like to make is industry knowledge. When you are courting prospects, one of the things that those prospects are going to look for is to say, well, what does this person know about that market? Here they are telling me that I should purchase this that is going to help me with A, B, C, and D, but yet they can't provide me with any of the information in regards to where the market stands as a whole. So the reason that it's important to know how to give an important testimonial in regards to your products is that when people are asking intelligent questions and intentional questions, you will be able to combat those questions appropriately. Secondly, when we talk about public platforms, so in my experience in Wakanna, I have seen that people have been on radio stations. People have sat at major universities as experts in the cannabis industry solely based on their distributorship with Wakanna. And so when you are on those type of platforms, it is imperative to make sure that you are speaking correctly and that you have a full, concise understanding of what's going on in the market. The third point is community education. So many times people want to tell us what CBD is, and the entire time they're not really sure what it is themselves. And so for us as distributors with Wakanna, it's so important for us to be able to give compliant, again, testimonials, because when we're out here educating our communities, it's so important that we are speaking correctly and we're providing all of the appropriate information. And lastly, is business validation. When you're able to articulately and fully understand and give feedback on your experience with Wakanna and do it in a compliant fashion, it does nothing but validate your business. It does nothing to propel you to the expert that we are all looking to be in the cannabis industry. As indicated, the FDA isn't really sure and are still building the foundation for regulation in regards to CBD. So it's important for us to know the facts, because when we know those facts, it does nothing but further validate that we know what we're talking about when it comes to CBD. So now I thought it was important. I know a way that majority of people get exposure in regards to their business is they share their experiences on Facebook, they give testimonials, they share videos. So I thought that it was very important to give a snippet on what does it mean to provide a compliant testimonial. So here for starters, and again, we're going to continue to have these examples. So we're going to give examples on how to provide testimonials on Facebook, what's compliant in regards to Twitter, what's in regards to Instagram. But we wanted to start with Facebook because we know that that is probably the most commonly used amongst our distributors and our customers. So I'm going to go ahead and read this post. It says, "The most peaceful, secure feeling I had today was to walk into my mom's house, and while washing my hands, seeing and knowing she was being safe while defending, protecting herself, and enjoying hair growth." And so a few things that I just wanted to point out in this specific post, is that he is sharing his own experience, and he's also sharing his customer's experience. So in this specific scenario, it's his mom. And so he has information from her. He's up to date with what's going on with her. And so he can validly speak in regards to the proactive precautions that she's taking during the times that we're in combating COVID every single day. And so that was one thing that I thought that is very important, is to make it very intentional and make it very purposeful, because people respond to that authenticity. The adjectives that he used were defending and protecting, not cure and diagnose. And so it's important that you are using the appropriate adjectives that indicate that you are in compliance. And so again, like as the FDA, one thing that they have been very clear about in sending out warning letters to other companies is that you are not to make unsubstantiated claims. And so that's something that has been made very clear and very blatant by the FDA. So it's important for you as distributors to make sure that when you are promoting your business, that you're doing in a way that is protecting you and making sure that you're presenting the information in the correct way. Because you don't want to set yourself up for people to debunk you or to challenge you. What you want to do is you want to be, again, proactive in ensuring that from the beginning that you're being intentional and that you are not making any unsubstantiated claims. So I will tell you all, we have been getting and ramping up for the Wakanna Difference compliance call here for about 4 weeks. And I was really excited to have the opportunity to really work with Dr. Joy and to work with Dr. Rita. And when I found out that it was going to be my responsibility to provide insight in regards to what it means to give a compliant versus non-compliant testimonial, or providing information in regards to CBD or the business as a whole. So I thought to myself, I'm not qualified to be able to make that distinction on our inaugural compliance call. So Phyllis Nash, our Senior Vice President of Sales, was gracious enough to spend time with me to ensure that we gave our distributors and our customers just a snippet of when you're asked those big questions. And those big questions are the ones that you're unsure about. Those big questions are the ones where you're thinking like, well, am I providing the right information? And so we're going to continue to provide you with those big questions and provide you with simple ways that you can make sure that you are responding in a way that shows that you are affluent in your business, and also provide the information to get them to make a decision. So here's no other than our Phyllis Nash. So the big question today is, what is CBD? So many times, I know even for myself, some people say, well, wow, well, what is CBD? And in the beginning, I was so intimidated by that small question. Because for me, I'm a person and I like to make sure that I'm able to adequately be able to explain things where people understand. And so with what CBD, I had to make sure I fully understood myself. And so in the beginning, that was such an intimidating question for me. And so what I wanted to do was I just wanted to provide a quick little tutorial on when people ask you, what is CBD? So the first video is going to be of a non-compliant response when someone is asking you, what is CBD?
Hey Phyllis, what is CBD?
Oh my God. You know what? CBD is the miracle plant of the century. It cures cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, you name it, it takes care of it. I love that CBD.
So here Phyllis Nash here. She said, hey, what is CBD? And you know what she's saying? Hey, it cures my cancer. I don't have to take my medicine. It has done anything and everything that I needed to do. When I get those power products, it got a little weed in it, get me a little high. So that's what she is out here just, wow, she is out here saying this is what her CBD experience has been. But when you are professionally trying to articulate your business and what CBD does with the intention of educating the consumer on what CBD does, it's so important not to make those kind of unsubstantiated claims. And so here, I'm gonna provide a video of what the question should sound like when someone asks you what CBD is.
Hey Phyllis, what is CBD?
Well, CBD is the part of the cannabis plant that makes you healthy, not high.
And there it is. CBD is a part of the cannabis plant that makes you healthy, not high. You can build off that conversation. People are going to inquire in regards to, they may not know what cannabis plant is. They may not be familiar with all the different cannabis. And so that's a good introductory. And so when you're asked a question about it, less is more. And so when you're making those initial introductions and when you are speaking to people that you may not know, or even sometimes your family, it's important to just provide them with a little information and just, allowing them then to ask those follow-up questions. So you say to yourself, now Thomas, you shared all of this great information. Dr. Rita has gone over how to read a COA. Dr. Joy Smith, she says, well, what is all natural? She has an answer. What is organic? She has an answer. You've received all of this information. So you say to yourself, well, how, am I to stay informed in regards to what compliance is in the cannabis industry? Well, folks, we have a solution for you here on the compliance team. So first off, I want to give a major plug and shout out to the Wakanna Times Committee. They work tirelessly and they're so intentional in making sure that our distributors are up to date with what's going on. I will tell you all, don't look for the latest and greatest updates just on our Facebook page. The Wakanna Times provides you insight that you may not have even known about until you've actually read the newsletter. So that's something that is published on a consistent basis. So when you get a notification and it says the Wakanna Times, make sure you take some time and actually read it, because it is some valuable information that is provided in there. Our very own CEO, she sets the tone for our entire business. She works tirelessly. She's consistently intentional. She does everything she can to ensure that Wakanna as a whole is well equipped. And a lot of the tools that she is equipping us with is provided in that Wakanna Times. So guys, again, don't underestimate that newsletter that you receive via email. Make sure that you're consistently making sure that you are plugged in. And so with that being said, we are going to be doing a compliance edition once a month in the Wakanna Times. When we're doing the Wakanna Times, we're going to be providing you with the cannabis industry updates. We're going to be giving you some more insight on our SOP, and that's our standard operating procedures. We're going to give you updates in regards to where the market is standing in regards to what's next. So it's going to have all the latest and greatest in regards to compliance. So if you're a person that saw this presentation and this sparked your interest, then now you're going to have the necessary support to continue to be able to feed yourself with the necessary information. And then, if you were excited about this today, I can tell you that we are going to be doing this once a month. Every month, we're going to get together. This one was a little long. I'm sorry, I got excited. But the objective is for the call to be no longer than about 45 minutes. And we just want to touch base with you all and keep you up to date in regards to what's going on in the cannabis industry. And so once a month, it'll be the third Friday of every month. We'll get together and we are going to keep you up to date with what is going on in the cannabis industry. Because the Wakanna difference to us is, and again, to piggyback off of my quote, is to ensure that our customers are up to date. And as we do these conferences, you will be able to understand the full grasp of what the Wakanna difference is. I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. I want to give a special shout out to Gerald, AKA Cuzzo. He worked tirelessly and intentionally to ensure that we had the graphics that were necessary for our flyer, and he did an excellent and a phenomenal job. And I want to also give a special thanks to Dr. Roz. Again, this was my first time having the opportunity to work with this woman of high esteem, and I feel so privileged to have that time, and I look forward to working with you more as we continue to do our compliance, the Wakanna different Zooms. And I also want to give a special thanks to Dr. Joyce Smith. She is our inductee of our leadership development program here at Wakanna, and she has jumped in. She has been eager to learn. She has been doing everything that's necessary in order not to just elevate her business to the next level, but she's doing everything she can to elevate your business to the next level. So again, I just want to give a special thanks and a special shout out to none other than Dr. Joyce Smith. And lastly, I just want to give a special thanks to our very own co-founder, our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Rita McGuire. I will tell you guys, I feel so honored and privileged to work with this woman of medicine. You know, I am a guy that comes from a compliance, healthcare analytics background. And so the two of us have been really putting our backgrounds and fusing them together. And we are on track that we are pioneering what the compliance will look like in cannabis and CBD overall. You know, and that is all done with the help of our team that is led by our leader, who is Dr. McGuire. So I just wanted to thank you. I wanted to also thank everybody for taking the time to join this call. I hope that it's helpful. And if you have any follow-up questions for me directly, I should have put this here, but my email is thomas@Wakanna. Again, that's Thomas@Wakanna. It was sincerely my pleasure to have the opportunity to speak with you on what it means to get a non-compliant versus a compliant product testimonial. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Dr. Ross.
OMG.
Oh my
goodness. Didn't I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you? I didn't lie at all, right? I really kind of underestimated what was about to happen. I told you we'd be instructed. I told you we'd be informed. And I told you we'd be inspired. So I hope that you got all this information. Listen, every month this is going to happen. And I know some of you might have some questions. We're going to open up. We're going to look at the chat. I know some questions were there on the chat before. You mean to start that then? Some of those questions were on the chat, but we're going to definitely take a look at the chat and see if we can answer some of those questions. But before we do that, we got to do this. Hold on. Let's just open this up so everybody can see How many of you have seen our video? Listen, if you have not seen our video yet, what's wrong with you? Off the chain. That's all I can say, is off the chain. Now, let's see how long it's going to take it to open up on my computer. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen, right? All right. So if you got some questions in the chat, go ahead and put them in there while we play the video, and we'll come right back and see if we can answer any of the questions that you might have.
If you have any questions while we're loading that, please put your questions in the chat. Now we can hear.
I've been wondering how to find you. I've been looking for you. Should come with me to Wakanna. What you trying to do? I've been meaning to remind you, to remind you. See, I had so much on my mind, yeah. I've been wondering how to find you. I've been looking for you. Should come with me to Wakanna. What you trying to do? I've been meaning to remind you, to remind you. See, I had so much on my mind, yeah. Don't go nowhere without my CBD. If you know me, it's with me anyway. Seeing me, got it on me. It's my only way of freeing me, all on my only. By my side is never leaving me, I'm never lonely. It'll get you through them late nights, no sleep, feeling anxious when you take flight. You so free, you can use it for them back pains, the swolleness. That feel special got me right, man. To go to sleep, ain't gotta worry about no laws, man. No police to try to tell you that it's all the same. They so sleep, but they a flower in the Hall of Fame. And quote me, cannabis is good for everything, nobody oldies. They light us up for this flower, left us in the dark to get devoured, left us in the grave with no flowers. Now it's our time, it's our hour. This storm coming, no showers. They screams louder, scream louder. Let's make room for this flower. We can all bloom with this flower. They light us up for this flower, left us in the dark to get devoured, left us in the grave with no flowers. Now it's our time, it's our hour. This storm coming, no showers. They screams louder, scream louder. Let's make room for this flower. We can all bloom. I've been wondering how to find you. I've been looking for you. Should come with me to I know what you trying to do. I've been meaning to remind you, to remind you. See, I had so much on my mind, yeah. I've been wondering how to find you. I've been looking for you. Should come with me to Wakanna. What you trying to do? I've been meaning to remind you, to remind you. See, I had so much on my mind, yeah. I've been wondering how to find you. I've been looking for you. Should come with me to Wakanna. What you trying to do? I've been meaning to remind you, to remind you. See, I had so much on my mind, yeah. I've been wondering how to find you. I've been looking for you. Should come with me to Wakanna. What you trying to do? I've been meaning to remind you, to remind you. See, I had so much on my mind, yeah.
All right, all right, all right. All right. Wakanna. All right. Dr. Rita, did we have some people in the chat, some questions in the chat?
There's a question about, I still have questions about CBD and transplant. Is there any publication I can research for information? I took CBD before the operation and helped my body to be prepared for the OR. Thanks. That's from Calvin Harris. A great source for CBD research is PubMed. P as in Paul, U as in umbrella, B as in boy, M as in Mary, E as in Edward, D as in dog. That is a great, great source for research as it relates to CBD. So you can use pubmed.com. Benjamin Davis, any questions? So that's a comment. Let's see, any questions? There was a question about retailing our product in a retail store. And I'm not sure if you're asking if Walgreens or Macy's or JCPenney or any of those retail stores could sell Wakanna products, and that would be no.
There's a question here about what are the units for lab testing purposes?
Yeah, so the unit is just the specimen that is submitted. And the units is a sample. You can also submit, like when we have our fresh flour, we submitted the flour. So whatever the content is, that is what the test type. If it's a concentrate, it would be concentrate. But when we submit our sample of our CBD oil, it's considered a unit. That's just how they classify the type that's submitted. Will the compliance training recordings be in the academy? The compliance training so far, we will have this recorded every single month, and then we will eventually move to expanding into our Wakanna University and expanding into our academy. Let's see, any other questions?
Lots of great expressions of how they enjoyed it.
Can we use Wakanna for what people are doing in public, or should we study Wakanna compliance? I don't understand that question, Benjamin. Can we use Wakanna for what people are doing in public, or should we study Wakanna compliance? Do you understand that question, Dr. Ross?
No, I have to see it.
Can we, as source? Benjamin Davis, if you could write that question over again. Because I don't understand. Oh, there you are.
Hi. We're doing a great job on what we do, and there's so many stuff out there, and I'm not should I study my own stuff that's out there, or can I say, hey, Wakanna, do you know about this? Can you help me with this? This CBD that's out here that's saying this. Is it possible that Wakanna could be a resource to help us as we educate ourselves? We need to know what it is that's on that counter.
So I think you're asking a question that I get asked a lot. A lot of distributors will send me a picture of another product and will ask me what I think about that particular product. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I get that a lot. And I think that will be a great tool for our next webinar meeting to teach you guys how to read labels of other products. Because most of the products out there, if you look, Benjamin, are hemp seed oil. And what they do, they know consumers don't understand that hemp seed oil doesn't contain CBD, and they will market it as a CBD product. But we all know that hemp seed oil contains a lot of nutritional byproducts, omega-3, 6, and 9. It's a great source for metabolism and digestion, but it absolutely doesn't contain CBD. A lot of products, the very first ingredient is water. And then after that, it's nothing but fillers. So yes, absolutely educating distributors and customers and consumers on what's out there that's being marketed as CBD is really not CBD.
Good question.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I had somebody to send me a bottle once, and I looked at the bottle and it didn't have anything on it. So I said, well, they didn't lie. Dr. Reed, did you answer this question about the CBD and transplant?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
PubMed.com. Yep.
All right. I think that's it. It looks like that's it.
Well, thank you so much. Dr. Ross, you were amazing. Dr. Joyce Smith, amazing. And TJ knocked it out the park, amazing. Gerald Cuzzo, that flyer, amazing. I'm just grateful to have a team that is so diligent and passionate about Wakanna, about our products. And I want to thank everyone for attending tonight. And Dr. Shaw-Belt, I will give it to you to close them out.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Now listen, the Wakanna time.
Dr.
Yes.
Ross, I
Yes.
have one last question. That video, do we have access to that video?
Oh yeah, that video is all on Facebook, and I think even Melissa put some instructions on how you can it's on her page as well, and how you can share it to your own page, or how you can do a watch party from the Facebook page. So yeah, it's there available for you.
Oh, thanks. 'Cause I wanna
Dr.
share that
Roz,
with
can you hear me?
I can.
This is Shirley. Dr. Roz, the actual training tonight, is it recorded to where if I choose or want to purchase it or look at it again, I can?
Well, I see it's been recorded, so
great.
It'll be, if it's recorded, I'm gonna grab it. You know that.
Yeah, because I definitely want to get me a copy, especially when don't do shorthand. You know, I gotta go to school to learn how to do shorthand, and keep up with all them words. You know.
Don't worry,
I just thought I'd ask. Thank you.
All right.
Dr.
Thank you so much, everybody.
One more question.
Okay, yes.
Maybe Dr. Rita can answer it privately. I see it here. What's a good resource to help educate on CBD aiding in inflammation in the body, especially as it relates to COVID?
We can't make any claims as it relates to CBD and COVID, but there's hundreds of thousands of articles about CBD being an anti-inflammatory. You can type in your favorite search engine, CBD and inflammation, and just get a host of resources. But absolutely, you do not want to say that CBD can treat or to cure COVID-19. Thank you, Dr. Joy, for seeing that question. Right now, that's like a #1 reason why CBD companies are being fined, because a lot of companies are making claims about CBD curing and treating COVID-19. So please stay away from saying that or implying that. What you can say is that research has shown that CBD is an anti-inflammatory. It's an analgesic. And there's hundreds and thousands of peer-reviewed articles that show just that.
Thank you, Dr.
Hello.
Go ahead.
I have a question. I have a guest on the line, Dr. Carolyn McCaskill. She's deaf. She's a professor in Washington, D.C., and she was on the webinar. She wants to know, is our webinars available in closed caption?
Dr. Rita just asked me about that like about 3 or 4 days ago, and I've been doing my own research on how we can start to make that happen. So we just know that we're working on it. I mean, right now I see it's a lot of work, but we're gonna find a way, because there's a community out there definitely that we want to make sure that they get this information as well. Absolutely.
Right, yes, and she has influence over a large deaf community who would be very interested. I think something to do with also that you need to be in compliance anyway with something with the Disabilities Act or something. So we just want to get, because we have lots of people that we could reach.
Well, maybe if there's information that she already knows since she's in that community, definitely pass that information on to us that we can move in that direction.
Right. Well, she was on the line. She actually posed a question in the chat room about, is there a transcript or, is a closed caption? So it would be great if you guys could, work on it and get back to us. Thank you.
Absolutely. We definitely want to reach everybody. All right. If there are no other questions, listen, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Go back and tell all the folk that didn't make it here that they should have made it. And we all know, don't forget that whenever we have these, it's not just for distributors, it's also for customers, because this gives your customers information about the products that they purchased from you. And guess what? That may turn that customer into a distributor, or if the least thing can happen, that makes that customer refer to another customer. All right? So good night, everybody. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend, and be safe. Thank you.
Back at you.
Good night.
Back at you. Have a great one.
Good night, everyone.